digging deeper into your own, like, your background, your family, and even interacting with other, brothers that may have shared your, the lineage. I mean, what was the, like, what did you draw up from all that? Like, in terms of, like, Puerto Rico and, the Taino and the Spaniards and, and the other brothers who didn't embrace the culture, and then the brothers who did embrace it. Like, what was the difference that you saw?
So you saying the difference between the Latino community, or the difference?
Yeah, right. In the Latino community, like, because there's some brothers who may identify more with, being original, and then there's some who identify with more, the Spaniard side or the conqueror side,
Not you.
And how did you draw that up for yourself?
So what I see is that in the absence of truth, people going to cling to an identity that is given to them. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a Honduran or a Panamanian, whatever, a Jamaican, whatever titles, the Dominican friars named Dominica. And that's another thing I want to say. My father's Dominican, right? So I keep talking a lot about Puerto Rico, but at the time it was taboo to speak about being Dominican. And why? Because Dominican was usually a blacker people. So if you had Dominican in your bloodline, a lot of people didn't want to see it, right? And there's a lot of Dominicans that live in Puerto Rico. So what I was saying, when there's an absence of truth, right, people going to cling to identity. Where it's already an identity made for them, whether it's American, right? So you got Europeans who live in North America who don't know if they're Irish, they don't know if they're German, their families were here thousands. They don't know if they were like serfs, indentured servants, or if they were slave masters. So because that is so ill and ill history for them to even to dig deep into, it's better for them to just say they're American or just say that they're white, right? So these social constructs was created to so people don't have to go dig deep in their history, right, of who they was, and Puerto Ricans did that, because as far as they knew, that's all they knew, right? It's like you trying to ask a pit bull, right, where he come from? He's a mixed breed, right? So pit bulls ain't always been here since the beginning of time. You had the terrier, you had the bulldog mastiff, right? So now you're gonna go in the history of the bulldog mastiff and the terrier and all that to prove what type of dog it is, like nah. So as far as we know, in this day and time, pit bulls is the shit, right? Everybody love pit bulls. They're some badass dogs, right? So that's how Puerto Ricans are. You can't tell them shit because they proud to be what the fuck they was bred from the violence, from the slavery, from the conquering, from all of the anguish created, a motherfucker like, yo, you don't want to fuck with that dude. You don't want to mess with that dude. You don't want to mess with that chick. You don't want, you know what I mean? Those people, they bang out, right? The Tainos, right? Another warrior class. So that's what I got as far as that. Puerto Rican people, a lot of times they're happy people, and that's what I want to explain. They're very happy people. They love to have fun. They love to joke. You know what I'm saying? They love to party, right? And anything that's going to bring that vibration into a seriousness, like you killing their vibe. So the information is hard to come across certain people because the culture is based on happiness. You know what I mean? It's like you talking about what the Catholic Church did during Christmas time, right? What they did to the Hebrews and how they you talking as far as they concerned, you're talking negative. You're speaking negative about their culture, right? Whether they was the ones that was conquered, where they was the ones conquering or whatever the hell they, you know, because
You don't wanna
Spain,
get into that, though.
Spain itself was a melting pot, right?
With the Moors.
And the Moors taught everybody how to be ruthless, because they was ruthless, you know, and you know, everybody learned from them. They learned to do like what? The original man. You know, Italians, everybody, the Black Hand, all of them learned how to be ruthless from the original man. You know? But they was at the hand of the original man, under subjugation. So the same way they was subjected, right? They learned how to do the same to other people who they thought was weaker, or who they tried to make weaker, using the same tactics on how they was controlled, how they was conquered in Europe. You see? So the thing is, and then you had the people that it wasn't about all that, you know. You had peaceful people, it was about their family, you know, and those was the ones that they wanted to conquer. You know, that's why today the Tainos is ingrained in the bloodline. It's hard to find the whole pure breed Tainos in the islands. And that goes, Tainos was in Cuba, the Tainos was in Jamaica, you know. A lot of my Dread brothers, they Taino too. A lot of them is Arawak, Caribs, you know, and there was wars on the islands too. And there was black men living in the islands way before slavery.
Right.
There was tribes that were black. That's what they're not telling us.
If Mecca did this.